if you'd like to be part of the program, just 1 week away. And President Trump to visit Pittsburgh and Synagogue today, which, by the way, God bless those people. Man, that was tough. But the president is going, and I'm glad he's going. Anyway, we got a lot to cover, folks. A lot of stuff around the state of Louisiana, and, of course, always some national stuff trickled in with the elections going on. We'll see what happens. People ask me all the time, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? I have no idea. I'm to the point. If you watch this, they tell you this. They watch that, they tell you this, and that's why I found out again and realized I started watching this total elections like I normally do, and then I realized real quick why I don't like to watch it. Because I almost think it's made for TV drama, you know. Oh, we up, we down, we up. Oh, we up over here. Oh, we pulling away over here. Oh, we losing over here. And just, man, your emotions goes up and down. I just don't have to do that. I just gonna wait and see what I went vote. I did the one thing that I could go do, and I would suggest that's what people need to go do. They need to go vote all over the country, and let's just see what happens. You know, if the country ever goes to pure socialism, Marxist socialism, we will fall. We will fall quick. We will fall hard, and we'll never be able to grow the country again like we need to, and never be the country we need to be. We got people that are destroying us from within. And a lot of it has to do with the press. And I think Trump's right on the press, almost everything he said. Fake news, no doubt. They keep crying, we're the free press. The free press would do their job no matter who the president was, no matter who the governor is, no matter who the United States senator is. They would defend the Constitution. They would defend our borders. The free press would do that. In the truth. And that's where the free press has lost it. Thank God for Trump that he's fought against it. But anyway, I'll get more on that in a little bit. All right, yesterday, and I got calls from it, really upset. You don't like me? You're not supposed to cut me off.
Oh, man.
Yesterday, and you can go look at it, Dead Pelican. I said some things challenging Lane Grigsby, and I don't really know Mr. Grigsby. I met him a couple of times, and I have nothing against the man. But I know he's a big player, the money player in politics, and he comes out and rips John Kennedy a new one, and the Advocate runs with it. And, of course, yesterday I did my dang just to lose my mind on it, and did. And you can go check it out on Dead Pelican. I don't know if you posted it here, Brandon, but the Dead Pelican posted it, thedeadpelican.com, and you can go, if you didn't hear it, you can go back and listen to it. And I'm in every word. I'm not backing up from any of it. And the big part of going after somebody, we already saw this when Vitter ran, and we don't even have a race yet. Nobody's even qualified yet. And what Grigsby did, I think, is dang right wrong. It's outrage. People ought to be outraged about what he said.
Dang right wrong.
Dang right wrong. He's wrong. So, and this is one of the things I wanted to make. When you do something like that, and you go with the pro Edwards Advocate, they're going to use them words, and I said it in the monologue. They're going to use that all the way through the election if Kennedy runs. I don't know if Kennedy's running. Who says he's running? And I thought it was bad taste of Grigsby, but this is what Democrats like to do, and this is what the, quote, free press likes to do. They love to grab liberal, leftist Republicans. Why do they love Jay Darden? Because that's who he is. Why did they love John McCain? Because that's who he was. And so what they do is they love grabbing those Republicans. Julie Stokes is another great example of someone who should never be put in office. She's a liberal's liberal running as a Republican. She's the same way. Help Bell Edwards vote for billions of dollars in new taxes. Tell everybody she's a conservative. Tell everybody she's a lifelong Republican when we know she's not a lifelong Republican. She was a Democrat for 10 years, and I still beg to differ with that. I think she's a Democrat all her life. But this is the one the press loves to grab Republicans who beat up Republicans. So when Lane Grigsby did what he did, I got mad at it, and rightfully so, and people are mad at Grigsby. But here's the big point. Gumbo Pack, as you know. Gumbo Pack, as you know, is the pack that helped John Bell Edwards run all them nasty campaigns. Well, guess what they did? They grabbed Grigsby's comments and put it on Facebook. Here it is. Key conservative funder Lane Grigsby sounds like he'd rather drink weed killer than support a run for U.S. Senator John Kennedy, Louisiana governor. And then they go on and quote everything that Lane Grigsby said. And they're going to use this if Kennedy runs. And I don't know if Kennedy runs. If he runs, if he gets in a runoff, they're going to use this to pound on Kennedy from words out of a top Republican donor. This is what I meant. And the top Republican donor, all he had to do was give his money, speak behind the scenes, and shut up when it comes to publicity and getting in the newspaper, because this is what they look for. Why do you think Julie Stokes got the endorsement from the Times-Picayune? She got the endorsement from the Times-Picayune because she's a leftist. It's a Republican that we can love. And then in the article, there was a debate, I guess, a forum on a legislative, the Secretary of State's race. And so what did they do? I told Brandon, I said, Brandon, I'm not going to show you the picture on the advocate of the Times-Picayune, but they took a picture, and guess who pops up in every picture they take? Julie Stokes. Because they know she's a leftist J. Darden knife stabber. She voted for all the taxes. She's for income tax increases. Okay, big-time income tax rate. 86% of Republicans in this state are against income tax increases, except for Julie Stokes. She lies on her ad about being a lifetime Republican. She's not. She's not a conservative at all. And yet, you got people going to vote for Julie Stokes, and I'm wondering what Republican or people with right mind would vote for something like that. She was the floor leader for Bell Edwards, and she beat up on every conservative Republican she could. So when Lane Grigsby, what does that got to do with Grigsby? Because they take Republicans that go against conservatives, and when they say something, they use it, because we have the same press that you see in Washington, D.C., in the Advocate and Jim Beam in the Gazette newspaper. I mean, Jim Beam writes a piece about the race, mentions everybody, but when he gets to Stokes, she's very well qualified for the job. You know, pushing that mess, and people go in there and don't understand what they're voting for. You know, so when Grigsby did this, here's Gumbo Pack. They ready to roll, bud. They got the money. They're going to be packs against Edwards, too. Don't get me wrong. But when you make a statement like that, they're going to use that statement in every dang commercial that comes to pass. It's just coming. That tastes good. Brandon said it's the second time I'm hearing this.
I'm already tuned out.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for the commercial.
Yeah, Brandon does that with callers sometimes. They want to write a book to Brandon, and Brandon got to stop him and say, would you just tell Mood? I don't want to hear it again. So I'm telling Brandon, he said, if you just wait till we get on there, you don't have to tell me. He said, you pumping yourself up, you already pumped up, and then you pumping up a pumped up person.
Some mornings I barely even get a high from Moon. Just right into it. It's like the Moon Griffon show starting at 8 o'clock.
No doubt about it. It does. It started way before that. But anyway, so Grigsby, I have nothing against the man. I'm sure he's a good Republican. I'm sure he gave a lot of money. According to this, $3 million. That's all cool. You got to have people like that. But you can't make comments like that. And all of a sudden, he probably won't make another comment. He doesn't have to make any. We don't even have who's qualifying for the race yet. This is, I don't know if y'all looked at this, is October 30th of 2018. The race for governor was, don't get me wrong, I know it started, but really the big part of the race is next year. The election is next October with a runoff in November, and then Edwards is gone. But you can't have people like this, because Gumbo Pack is the kill Kennedy, kill Republican pack. Okay, they supporting our governor who's destroying this state and set us back 10 years, him and J. Darden. But they love to grab the Republicans like Darden and Julie Stokes, who, by the way, is no different than Nancy Pelosi. She just has an R by her name. She is pro-income tax. The first thing she did when she got elected was go to Republican Congress and say, we need to raise the Stanley bill. They didn't know what she was talking about. But she is a CPA. She's a CPA. So what? Do you have to be a CPA to be the Secretary of State? Has any Secretary of State we had ever been a CPA? Gee whiz. It's got to be a CPA. That's all you hear, breast cancer and CPA. I told you, if you are just wanting to vote for a woman that beat cancer and don't vote for the man in position. Heather Cloud's a real Republican conservative. The Stokes vote is embarrassing. But that's who they like. That's who the Advocate likes. That's who the Tom-Picayune like, Jim Beam, Gannett newspapers. Look and watch and see, folks, this lady, if you go talk to Republicans, real conservatives privately, they will tell you, do not vote for Julie Stokes. She beat him to death. And she's right there with the governor. She caucused with the governor. She caucused with Dard. She met with them all the time. And she ripped conservatives left and right. That's why they love her. So they love Lane Grigsby today because he said something bad about Kennedy, and Gumbo Pack jumped on it, boom, immediately. And that's why you got to be careful. And these guys, I'm glad he contributes. I'm sure he's a great Republican, gave it a lot of candidates. But I'm telling you, people ought to be upset with him, not me. I don't care if they're upset with me. I'm just told the truth. Julie Nancy Pelosi Stokes would be devastating. It's people that pull in that lever, they don't understand because they don't want to understand the truth about who she really is. All right. Wow. I just started too. We'll take a break, be right back. Your calls, as always, are welcome. If you want to talk more about it, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. Look, I didn't even want to get on that again, but when I saw the Gumbo Pack Facebook, I thought, here we go. Here we go, Lane. This is what I meant. And it just throws in the group of Stokes and some of these people and Nancy Pelosi Stokes and Jay Darden. And these guys wear these Republicans, they wear them proudly, and boy, they just vote wrong every time, and they do wrong. And when the press is loving a Republican, it's probably because they're beating up conservatives. And that's what Stokes did. One of the things that I read in this Secretary of State race, first, when I saw the headlines and I saw the picture, I knew Stokes would be on the front page, because that's what they do. They love a liberal Republican. They just love them. And they interviewed her. She says, she said, known for whipping out detailed spreadsheets for various taxes, because she's a CPA. One of the other comments, what was the other comment she made, Brandon? I'm sorry. I got a bunch of stuff here today. I think I can get, okay, it is. During debate, Renee Fontenot-Free and Julie Stokes emphasized that they would not inject partisan politics into the Secretary of State's office if elected. No, she's too busy beating up the Republicans. She's not partisan politics. No, she beats up the Republicans. By the way, if you go to my page, my Facebook, Moon Griffon, or you go to the Hayride, Julie Stokes wants automatic registration when you're 18 years old. No responsibility. You're automatically there. And you got to tell him you want to come off the rolls. That's what Stokes wants. That's not liberal. That's radical leftist, socialist, Marxist. Stokes says, I'm always to be objective and fair. And they say this, who is known for bucking the GOP leadership as a legislator. I think I've shown spirit in the legislature of someone who's not afraid to take a stand. Yes, she's not. She takes a stand against the conservatives. She takes a stand totally against the conservatives. She's a big tax and spend liberal who wants the income tax. She was fighting for income tax increases. And I'm going to tell you again, except for Barry Ivey and Rob Chadwan and people like Mark Motax's Abraham, if you go ask most of the people in the House Republicans, let them tell you the true story about Julie Stokes. I'm not saying take my word for it. Go find out for yourself. Call your representative. Call them. Ask them. You just got to ask them, and they'll tell you how she was a floor leader for Bell Edwards. Bell Edwards raised money for Nancy Pelosi and the Liberal Democrats. What does that make her? She's lying on advertisement saying she's a lifelong Republican. She's not. She was a Democrat for 10 years. She goes to the Republican deal, and she cries. She cries about all the taxes she voted for. I didn't read about all the taxes. That's what she did. You want that as a leader? Somebody who's going to walk hand in step with Bell Edwards. And by the way, did I say she's a CPA? No, I don't have to. She keeps telling everybody. The floor leader, the biggest Republican floor leader, the biggest floor leader for Bel Edwards was Republican Julie Stokes. It's out there. You don't have to believe me. Call people privately. They will tell you. And she wanted income tax increase. The same thing. Remember Bel Edwards came out to increase the income taxes and that fell flat? She was all on board with that. She wanted the Stelly bill to be part of. So she rips, she lies, and she rips the conservatives. She rips the conservatives, and yet she's running as a conservative. By the way, she authored a bill to make every session a fiscal session. And Brandon, you want to know why? Because in a fiscal session, you can do what? Raise taxes. Thank you, Brandon.
And if they're not raising taxes, they're raising fees.
That's right, correct. But let me tell you what, she wants a fiscal year every year to raise taxes. It was a constitutional amendment that was killed in the House. And this is the one where that's not, I can see somebody go, well, this is not what this position is all about. Yeah, but it tells a lot about who she is. All this fake, I'm a conservative Republican. Go ask the Republicans in the House. Oh, you're going to find one or two that like her. Most of them, if they're honest, yeah, she worked really, really, really close with Jay Darden and Bel Edwards. Why would you want to promote somebody to Secretary of State so one day she can run for governor? Another liberal leftist Republican. She wanted a constitutional amendment. She wanted taxes to be voted in every year. Folks, she's on the ballot. This is the one you got to vote against. A lot of people have emailed me. A lot of people have emailed me who to vote for. Look, there's 3 or 4 decent, really good candidates. And I'm asking you to look at them and base your decision based on that. We get to the runoff, let's see what happens. Stokes don't need to be in a runoff. Bel Edwards is raising money for her. Trial lawyers are raising money for her. Ted James, most liberal representative out there, supports her. And the Times-Picayune has endorsed her. That's who you want to be, the next Secretary of State? Soros is influencing this, and she wants automatic voter registration. Gee whiz. All right, take a break. Open line for you. You got a comment? We'll be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Folks, maybe some of you folks have already picked your person for Secretary of State. You'd like to tell people, because look, a lot of people are asking me who to vote for, and some of them will probably get mad because I'm not telling them. I can tell you who to vote for next time in a runoff.
The runoff.
And yeah, don't have a problem with that at all. But, they got people out there. You want to tell people how to vote? 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. You're welcome. You're welcome. You can talk. You can tell people why you're voting for somebody. I've had dozens of people tell me they talk people out of somebody was looking at Stokes' commercial and said, I will vote for her. They like the commercial, but they don't understand who she is. I do. It's not like I'm coming late on Stokes here because she's in this runoff. I've been talking about Julie Stokes on this program now for the last 2 or 3 years because I watched her over and over and over again. I watched Nancy Pelosi Stokes work her magic with Bel Edwards and the leftists, and that's why the press is not writing great things about John Kennedy and Schroeder. They're not writing great things about Blake Miguez. They're not writing great things about Lance Harris. They write bad things about all those people. And Taylor Barra. They find the Republicans that go against the grain of what we're about here in the state of Louisiana and what we're trying to do. Why do you think she got endorsed? Nancy Pelosi Stokes is endorsed by the Picayune. Ted James putting on his Facebook about how to vote for her. I already played that last week. So I'm just telling you what's going on. And I'm being honest with you. I'm the only one being honest with you, and that's why the newspapers are, they got their people they like. They love Democrats, but they love them a Republican. And it was Jim Bean who bragged about, Ivey out of Central, bragging about Ivey because he went against the Republicans. He bragged about Stokes and bragged about Rob Shadwell. I just hate raising taxes. Rob hated to vote for taxes so bad, Brandon, he thought he would go work for the taxpayers. He hated them. Yeah, he hated and voted for every one of them. So, you watch it. I've been doing this for a living. I see this stuff, and I'm not wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to apologize, folks. I would apologize in a second if I thought I was leading you the wrong way. So, anyway, 844-766-6607. Steve in Monroe. How you doing, Steve?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing fine, sir.
Thank you for what you do. We love you.
I appreciate it, brother.
Anytime the liberal media brags on a Republican, just know that's not who to vote for.
I agree. And it's the point I've been making for years.
Yes. If you pick up a paper and a Republican's name is in there and it says something good about them, don't vote for them.
I'm telling you that.
All they do is, if they're good, they're bad. They're bad mouthing them. If they're working for the people, they're bad mouthing. And I'll say it out loud: Rick Edmond for Secretary of State.
All right, man. Appreciate it, Steve. Thanks for the call, man. That's what I said. People want to jump in, they can. All right, let's go to Big Al, somewhere out on the lake, which makes me mad, but I'll talk to him anyway. Al, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Look, I'm getting ready to go fishing. I'm unloading my boat here in just a minute.
Shame on you. Shame on you for tempting me like that. That's not right.
Hey, I know I did that on purpose. I apologize.
Yeah, you really sound sincere, too.
You sound so sorry.
Yeah,
man.
you're really
So
sick. You like Jack. You like my buddy Jack. You like my buddy Jack Lawrence that I know real well. Jack always taunts me on his hunting and fishing trips, and he never brings me. So I just tell you just like him.
Yeah. Life is hard sometimes, man.
I know.
But anyway,
I know.
I got from a good source, a CPA, that starting next year, the first of the year, that a married couple's tax is going up in the state of Louisiana to 6%, and a single man's tax is going up 10%.
I don't.
Wonderful news?
Where you get that from?
From a CPA.
Remember, there's a CPA running for office. There's a CPA running for office. I don't trust the licks. It depends on who the CPA is. How about that? No cut on CPAs except if you're Stokes. She lets her. You know why You know why Stokes tells people she's a CPA? Because she wants him to think she's smarter than everybody when it comes to numbers. That's it.
Yeah, right.
You know, gee whiz.
We'll
see.
Well, I gave my stepson. Well, for $500, I gave him a big old fishing boat. So, and I treated him that I was going to pay taxes for him. So I went down to your area in Opelousas and to do the paperwork because he lives outside of there. A $500 boat costs $90-something to register.
I got a few.
Good news.
Well, it's always good, man. We pay a lot of fees here. I don't know if you know that or not, but we feed to death.
That was 2 years ago when they raised those fees up on us.
No doubt. All right, got to go, Al. Listen, catch some fish, man. Hope you have a good trip.
Have a good day, Moon.
You too. Be safe. All right, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. All right, the press is ripping up on Donald Trump, blaming him for anything that happens wrong in this country, which proves my point. Now, last night on CNN, and Brandon, I forget the woman that said this, but there was a debate, and this. Let me pull this up first, Brandon. GQ columnist has now apologized for claims Trump radicalized more people than ISIS ever did. Here she is.
Hold on. Please don't interrupt me. I have to agree with Simone here. I think, this president, one of the things that he really launched his presidential run on is talking about Islamic radicalization. And this president has radicalized so many more people than ISIS ever did.
Okay,
I mean, the way
right
he
there.
talks, the way he...
Now listen. So Trump's doing this? That just made me so mad. I wish I could vote 8 times. Trump is the one saying all the things. The media and CNN has been pounding Donald Trump when he first came on it. They pounding. They're the ones saying it's when you say that he's radicalized more people than ISIS. What these media people are doing, they're putting down the voters of Donald Trump. They're putting down anybody that voted for Trump. I mean, this is the kind of stuff they get away with, but when Trump says boo, oh, my God, look what Donald Trump said. And the bottom line is he's radicalized. He didn't radicalize me at all. I was radical way before he came along. He didn't radicalize anybody that I know of. He gave us hope. He gave us the way to dream again. He gave us an opportunity for allowing us to say, you know what, you really still can be the best you can be. Scarborough, he's on MSNBC, says Trump and GOP using racism as closing arguments before midterm. Where are they using racism? Because you see what the Dems do, and anything's close or tight, they don't know they're going to win, and racism comes out. Because it's the number one word in the Democrat playbook. Gilliam, the guy running in Florida, that thing is really starting to choke around his neck. FBI investigations. He's hollering racism at every stop. You know, if I'm in Florida, I go, wow, I don't need a candidate that's all he can say is racism with no proof. That's what makes you mad. You say it, don't mean it's true. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Gary, somewhere in North Louisiana. Gary, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good, Moon. How are you this morning?
Doing fine, sir.
Let's talk the worst case scenario if the Democrats get in. It is a complete soft coup.
Yeah. Oh, well, look, it's already been like that, don't you think?
Well, no. If the Democrats get in and they control the House and the Senate,
yeah,
they've already said they're going to impeach Trump.
Well, they might impeach him, but they're not going to find him guilty because that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, but if they control both houses, they can do what they want to.
No, you got to have 2/3 of a vote constitutionally. You got to get 67 votes to kick him out of office, and that ain't happening. Now, they can impeach him. You know, people don't understand when you get impeached in the House and the trial's in the Senate. So you can be right. Bill Clinton was impeached. Nixon never got impeached, but he was about to. But I'm just telling you, he look, I understand all that. I really do. By the way, you got McCaskill in Missouri now taking swipes at some Democrats. Man, I'm telling you, they're turning up on themselves. I just pray this election can go like it needs to. I voted. I'm trying to figure out a way to vote again. I really am. Trying to figure out how I can vote.
Be a Democrat. You can vote all you want.
Absolutely. If I was a Democrat, it wouldn't matter. All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate the call. Let's go to Matt in Shreveport. Matt, how you doing, sir?
Good morning, Moon. Love your show.
Thank you.
I was just going to comment on, what you were talking about, the liberals saying that Trump is recruiting for ISIS. It has been my experience that every time a liberal tells you they're worried about something, it's because they're doing that something. And if they're saying that Trump is recruiting for ISIS, what they're really saying is they hate Trump so much that they want to go join ISIS. They hate this country.
Yeah. Well, you've got them talking about ISIS. You got the lady in Arizona who I cannot believe is even close in that race, talking about, if somebody in the United States wants to join the Taliban, that's fine. I mean, the Taliban has killed Americans. It's sick what they're talking about, no doubt about it. It just is. So anyway, we got to roll. Appreciate the call. Open line for you. Hickson has that hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. We'll be right back. Moon Griffon Show, great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. Just showing you what the left and the fake news and the fake news media does. They're on Trump. Trump did everything. But remember, it was just last week that Louis Farrakhan talked bad about the Jews, Brandon, and called them termites. And he don't like termites. Remember? Remember that? Louis Farrakhan, Nation of Islam, which is considered a hate group in this country. Okay, but you stroll down and look at pictures of him and Keith Ellison, who's running for Attorney General, who's having problems in Minnesota. You look at Al Sharpton, all huggy tight with Louis Farrakhan. Eric Holder, he was the Attorney General for the great Barack Hussein Obama. Maxine Crazy Nutted Up Waters, hugging him, embracing Farrakhan. in which the Nation of Islam defended Palestine's suicide bombers, and Maxine Waters hugged her after. How about this one? Bill Clinton, the Reverend Jackson, and Al Sharpton at Aretha Franklin's funeral, all together side by side. And then don't forget the great Barack Obama. Never saw the light of day until Obama's presidency was over. That ain't free press. That's what I told you. We're not in a free press situation anymore, where they did what was right. And that's what I told you. When you look at these other countries that fell into hard times and fell leftists and socialists and Marxists, it was when the press took sides. And that's what we have going on. By the way, we'll do a Cane River Pecan giveaway, 2 of them today, and we will do a Shucks giveaway by the end of the program. All you got to do is email me, moon@moongriffon.com. Make sure you leave an address and number. We're going to pull him, and if I don't, it's Brandon's fault. Brandon, I can't help it. I got to have somebody to be responsible for me.
Hey, I'm already doing you a solid tomorrow.
Yeah, come to think of it, I better not pick on you. All righty. All you got to do is email me, moon@moongriffon.com. Say you want to win Cane River Pecan giveaway. Of course, you know we do all of our products for our customers through Cane River Pecans, and you need to do the same thing. If you're a company and you really, really want to send a great gift, what's better than a gift of pecans? Well, JD and the gang at Cane River have come up with it, folks, and they've got the best thing you can do. I get nothing but rave reviews from my customers, not only about the pretty tins with the logo on it, but about the pecans themselves, and it's all kind of variety. Cane River Pecan, go to the website, check them out. They'll send you a brochure, and you can place all your ordering online if you want to. But anyway, Cane River Pecans, the real deal. You'll love Cane River Pecans. They are great. All right, let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Dennis in Pineville. How you doing, Dennis?
Hey, good morning from the God's country of Pineville.
Yes, sir.
I got a question. I heard advertise. Well, it was a segment a while ago about Rick Edmonds, and he was sort of anti-Trump, and not Rick Edmonds, Kyle Ardoin.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'd like to know is that when Trump first came on board, or is that currently how he feels about Trump? And then how?
Listen, what little bit I know about it, because I'm not trying to get into all that, but I just will say that what little bit I know about it is, I think that was all when they were running for president and they had a bunch of candidates at one time. I think that's when that was done.
Right.
Because if I recall, the people that were associated with Ardoin, I could be, if I'm wrong, I hope they correct me, really were Rubio people. They were really wanting Rubio to win. So I don't know how all that went down, man. I just think that, people like yourself and me got to make the tough decision on who to vote for.
Well, I've already voted, but I was just trying to sift through it for the listeners out there who are having trouble with who to pull,
Sure.
on one of those candidates, and I didn't want them to think that somehow the current. And I guess that leads my next question is, how is he currently doing for the state of Louisiana?
As far as I know, fine.
Okay.
Fine. But that's not, once again, the Secretary of State. We don't kind of pay attention to that unless something goes wrong.
Right. But you want a solid candidate in there, you know?
Sure. Oh, no. I just know who not to vote for. I know who not to vote for.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because, I could prove the other one. I've watched her. So I feel like I got a great take on who I watched for the last 3 years. And it was not anybody that you wanted to be in a bigger office, I can promise you.
Right. And I'm going to let you go after this, and you discuss it for me. Why haven't any of the Republicans called out Stokes on a regular basis and basically say what a fraud she is?
That's the part I don't know. I know they fought with her on the floor. You can even go to my Facebook and see what Julie Stokes was ripping Alan Seabaugh at the end of that thing. She was trying to get an income tax passed. I've watched it, but they, just trust me. My inside sources tell me that they're really upset about it. Matter of fact, when they had the Republican get together, they were going to endorse candidates. They ended up not endorsing because the Stokes people freaked out, but they really didn't want to endorse Stokes, and she was out there crying. So I don't know. But let me tell you something. Let me stop. A lot of Republicans, maybe rightfully so, don't want to call other Republicans out. You got some of that, as you know. But that's why I said, now listen to me, Dennis. That's why I said, Go find a Republican in your area, pull them aside, and that's in the House, and just ask them straight up, look, is this Stokes woman really a Edwards person? Just ask them. If they're honest, they're going to tell you the truth.
Right, and that's why I was thinking between him and the lieutenant governor, you ought to just on a regular basis, call them what they are. They're rhino frauds.
Well, I know this girl here, this lady here, I'm glad she beat cancer. And by the way, I don't know if you know it, she's a CPA, but she's not what you call a conservative, and the press loves her because of that. Got to go, Dennis. God bless. We're going to take a break. More to come in the second hour. Don't go nowhere, folks. A lot more to come. Trump announces he'll sign order banning birthright citizenship despite 14th Amendment. As he walks, we've been saying that needed to be done. Trump says he signed an executive order to eliminate U.S. citizenship for children born in the country from parents who are illegal immigrants. He committed to the action in an interview on HBO there this Sunday. We're the only country in the world where a person comes in has a baby, and the baby is essentially a citizen of the United States with all those benefits. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It's been ridiculous. Something that needs to change. They said the 14th Amendment expressly states that children born in the U.S. are guaranteed citizenship, though conservatives view it as a law insists that only applies to immigrants with legal status, which would make more sense. But once again, you're dealing with the left, and it is what it is. So we'll see what happens with all that. But the pounding of Donald Trump will continue. I don't know if y'all saw this or not. The actor James Cromwell, big tall guy, played in the Green Mile. He says he warns of blood in the streets if Democrats don't win the election. You really got people voting for this. This is the kind of stuff that's going on that the ones in the press and people of that.
I've heard the name, but I don't know him.
Paul, thank you, Brian. That he's blood in the streets if Democrats don't win. Now, I said all along that they've got the opportunity anytime they want to start commotion, they could do it on just a flip of a cell phone. Blood in the streets. Now, how come the left can talk like this and they never chastise for it? So all of a sudden, the country that's split down the middle, blood in the streets. Brandon, that is showing Cruz 51, O'Rourke 46. Still close.
I think that'll only widen.
Mendez 51, the Republican 46 in New Jersey. That's the one that we were hoping for a big upset. Mendez is as crooked as can be. The Democrats don't even like him. So, anyway, they're showing that mine's made up in Texas, 98% may change 2%. Not enough to change anything. Okay. So, they can say blood in the streets. Now, I don't see any Republican talking like that. I don't see any conservative person at all talking about blood in the streets. We didn't have blood in the streets when Obama won. We may have complained. We may have challenged it. The Tea Party started. There was never no blood in the streets. I never heard anybody talk about that. But on the left, you can talk about, like I said, the lady from GQ, Trump has radicalized more people than ISIS. Brandon, Trump radicalized you? Didn't radicalize me.
Nope.
He didn't radicalize anybody. Did he get American people to vote against Republicans and Democrats in the last election? Absolutely. Oh. Okay. You know now. Okay. That's great when I don't even have to talk to you no more. Gosh. So, anyway, blood in the streets, folks. So, I guess that means we need Democrats to win so there's not blood in the streets. You know what's sad, though? If we really drift to socialism Marxists, like Venezuela, the people that are right now wanting to go in that direction will be the first people wanting to get the hell out of that when it's too late. By the way, there's still 179 death threats against the President of the United States that are live on Twitter. 179 death threats. But they more worried about Trump being a nationalist, which really, in all fairness, what he really is saying is that America first. And by the way, I'm all for America first. Should be. America. I don't care if you're black or white, green or yellow, Republican, Democrat. I don't care what your gender is or what you think your gender is. Or if you found out what your gender was, and now you got a new agenda. Steve and Ellick. How you doing, Steve? Welcome to the Moon Griffon Show.
Hey, Moon. Regular listener, appreciate the truth that you speak to us all the time. But I want to talk a little bit about why the left is so upset. It's because since 1964, at least, the Democrats and the liberals have never been able to win any election on policy or anything like that. It's always been personal attacks, racism, misogynists, haters, hate women, this and that. And you think about it, even Barack Obama, when he ran, didn't say, I want to give you nationalized health care. He avoided all those kinds of things. I just want to change and then come into America.
By the way, Barack Obama was also for traditional marriage.
Of course, and he changed his mind. And what the left can't stand about Trump is, unlike every other Republican for 60 years, he doesn't run for cover. He stands up, he fights, he speaks openly, without apology, for America, for Americans, tells you what he wants. He's not, gone into office and surprised everybody with what he said he wanted to do. He said he wanted to lower taxes. He did. He said he wanted to build a defense. He did. He said he wanted to be stricter on immigration. He has. He said he wanted to build a wall. He's fought and fought and fought for that. And even now he's come out and said that he wants to have citizenship interpreted by the Constitution, looking at the phrase under the jurisdiction thereof, that whether that decides citizenship or whether birth decides citizenship. And the left cannot stand it because he fights back and he doesn't run for cover and he loves America and Americans, all Americans, and so the left has to destroy him. And all of their attacks are about personal things, not about policy, not about what we want to do instead, but Trump's a hater, Trump's a Nazi, all the people that like him are racist. That's the whole thing. And why Trump is going to succeed is because he fights and he represents people like us. He didn't produce us. He just finally gave a voice to us. Yeah. And we're going to stand behind him. But you got to remember, we're going to vote, and the left's going to be frustrated.
Every time they hit Trump, like this lady from GQ saying he's radicalized more than ISIS. By the way, she's already backed up on that. That's because they hate the people that vote for Trump.
Right.
I was not original Trumpster, but I got to tell you, I like to fight. I like to fight at the fake news. Yeah. I like to. There's not a free press. When the press picks sides like they have done the last 10 or 15, 20 years and probably been doing it, they pick sides to like Obama, so they didn't show pictures of him and Louis Farrakhan. How would that have gone over before the election? They didn't get on him when he said, if you like your health care, you can keep it. You'll save $2,500 a year. Mine went up to almost $4,100 a month. They didn't get on him for none of that stuff, man. None of it.
No, they just lied and they cover it up. And they can't stand that people, conservatives, are finally fighting back. We've got someone to represent us who's not afraid. And they are fake news. Fake news is the enemy.
By the way,
not real news.
We've been talking about CNN for a long time. It's not like it just came along.
No. When the news' responsibility is to get the facts and report to us the facts, not to tell us what it means. We have opinion shows like yours where we can call in and discuss what the news means and how we interpret it and those things. But the news media, they're supposed to report the facts, not propaganda. And when they go into propaganda, they are the enemy of the people because they're the enemy of the truth.
Yeah. All right, got to run. Appreciate the call. That's nut. Stephen in Shreveport. Stephen, how you doing?
Morning, Moon. I was waiting for you to get on this topic this morning.
So, go ahead. All right. I don't know what Stephen cut himself off. Oh, no. 844. He did cut himself off. 844-7. That was interesting. Matter of fact, that's the smartest thing he ever said. It really is. One of the smartest things he ever almost said. Oh, Brandon, you ought to see the headlines already. You ready?
Yeah.
And this is only to make Republicans not go vote. Republicans blame game well on the way for losing. Braces for losses. Dems prepare to take over Russia investigation. So, anyway, that's what they already started. By the way, that was all designed for people not to go vote on our side. I don't know what's going to happen. Is it nerve-wracking? Yeah, for a lot of people it is. It is. But it is what it is, folks. All you can do is do your part. Let's see what happens. They've lied before and told us who was going to win. Will they lie again? We got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program. All right, let's see if we can try this again. Stephen in Shreveport, who hung up on me, but I'm not taking it personal, and I came right back to you.
Hey, Moon, I got so excited, I shut the phone off fast.
All right, go ahead, man. You said you've been waiting for me to get to a certain subject. What is it?
Birthright. So if I'm hearing you correctly, because I really want to hear your opinion, you're okay with this. So we amended the Constitution to protect Indians and freed slaves so that they would be recognized as American citizens.
Okay, but listen to what you're saying. I'm not arguing with you on that. But that's not Indians and African Americans that we're talking about here. It's not what we're talking about, Stephen.
It could be.
I know, but see, you're running over to race and the Indians, and let's just be blunt. Somebody comes over here, they slide through, they have a baby, and they're automatically a United States citizen. That ought to worry people. Matter of fact, I just reread Trump's words. He said for some people, they shouldn't be able to drop a baby and get the benefits. That's what he said for some people. He didn't say for everybody. So this, once again, will have to be determined by somebody that who's legal and who's not. See, Stephen, you can open the borders if you want to. Merkel is getting blasted, and she's not running anymore because she's just probably run to a country with all the immigrants that came in. They got people that want Sharia law there. That's all coming here. When it does, you're probably not going to be happy with it either.
Well, you realize he just lied. There are 20 countries in this world right now that accept citizenship of people just being born there on their soil.
And that's fine, but we are a different country. Those 20 countries that you named, how many illegals are going there wanting to go there like they come here? They really want to come here.
Well, you don't think people were trying to go to other countries?
No, like this caravan coming across was asked to stay in Mexico, work in Mexico, or go back where they were. They said, no, United States where we want to be. And by the way, it's 85% young men. And none of them get vetted. I just think whatever. Look, there's listen, all I'm saying. I'm going to let you have the last word. It's a legal way to come in this country. And people that want law and order, that's all we want. It's that you come here legally. I have no problem with it. Constitutionally, people shouldn't have a problem with it. They get here and become citizens. That's fine with me. And I don't care what color, race, religion, creed. I don't care about all that. If they come here legally and they do it legally, I'm all for it. All right, you get the last word.
Well, the last word was Trump's grandfather got here because his sister was here. And let me tell you, if we check like we check today, because he was a deserter in the German army, he would have never been allowed in this country.
Well, and then he wouldn't be here then. And by the way, let me tell you this. You don't get the last word, I do. There was years and years and years, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever it was. We didn't let anybody in here. None, 0. Maybe we ought to go back to that for the short term. Just nobody can come here till we get it straight. That would be the best thing could happen in the United States of America. Let me roll on, Stephen. Thanks for the call, my friend. All right, let's go to Bossier City. Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there, sir.
You made the comment earlier about James Cromwell saying there'll be blood in the streets.
Yeah.
Whose blood?
Well, that's a great...
The liberal side don't believe in guns. And unless you're going out there and just beat the fool out of them or something like, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, you ever heard of a group called Antifa?
Yeah, they beat the hell out of you.
They don't use guns.
They don't have to have a gun.
That's true.
You don't have to have a gun if you're a mob. You got more people that are upset, and they corner people who can't defend themselves. That's what mob rule does. As far as blood in the streets, that's a great question. The problem with that is I don't want blood in the streets. We already had that fight. That fight's over. We do it at the ballot box, but here's a guy on the left saying if the ballot box comes back and we don't win, there's blood in the streets. So let's start all this, but once again, nobody's going to point to them because they're on the left.
Well, it's bully tactics is what it is. I mean, we'll gang up on you and such as that. But my point, a little side note, I am not a liberal. I am not a conservative. Sure. I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I am your moderate independent.
Okay.
Yeah. So I try to look at both sides of the situations. And the way I'm looking at things now, I don't like what I'm seeing to the left. I don't like it at all.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Steve. I'm independent too, but I didn't like what was going on in the Republican Party. Not by the grassroots people, because I'm really friends with the grassroots of the Republican Party. Okay, so not that. Right. But I'm independent too, but I'm a real conservative. I mean, I would say I'm to the right. Okay, so but me and you coming from the same party. And my question is, do you know people that are like you that are saying enough with the left? Because if what you're saying happens all over the country, it'd be the Dems who will get beat. It'd be they're not showing the last poll they ever showed where independents were like 20 points going to vote for Republicans, but they're not talking about all it. So I don't know what's happening. I'll be honest with you. I've been surprised on election night before. I've been disappointed on election nights before, and I've been happy. And everybody wants to be happy on election night. It's not going to change my world. I'm going to keep on working hard and trying to do what's right in my life. But I know this. The left with this Democrat Party is not a Democrat Party. This is the socialist Marxist Party. It's not even close to being the old Democrat Party. And I wish Democrats would realize that.
But why have they done that? Why have they gone that far to the left? Is it because they have no agenda? I don't understand that. Why have they gone so far to the left?
They do like to do anything identity politics, They think they got the black vote and the gay vote and the Hispanic vote, and now what I'm saying is they just gear up with all that, so they don't have any rhyme or reason. They just got identity politics vote. We got all the people that want Medicaid. Well, it's free. Okay, all the people on subsidies with Obamacare. But guess what? They're not paying what I'm paying because they're getting help on their insurance. So they say, we like it. Well, you like it because you're getting something for free. But it doesn't make it right, and we can't afford what they want. Medicare for everybody. This guy in Florida that I just saw is 2 or 3 points up still. It was 6 points just last week. It's getting close. He shouldn't be even allowed to run for governor. He is ridiculous. He's such a Marxist.
When I was younger, that didn't happen. I'm in my 60s, and that didn't happen. We believed in America. We believed in the things that America was built on.
Let me tell you something. It ain't like that anymore because you got people that are beating back on everything America stood for. We'll be right back.